Hello all, hope you are having a good Sunday. I was finally able to unlock some tech and I was able to get to the magical number of legendary 2 and 30 stars, which does give me a gold start in the next season unless Supercell reset it all. I'm currently just in 7th place, although I'm pretty sure there will be other people also trying for this tier, so I will probably drop out. In terms of the tech which helped me get there, it was obviously the 7-year unlock which I had done. I switched to shock launcher. I did start it up with rocket launcher, but that's okay. I was able to max out my troop damage, and then I was also able to pick up the building damage. Now these techs were really helpful in helping me push forward. And let's go over some of the hits which I had done. So not a bad looking log, apart from the one loss, which was to a Seeker player. For the 7-year layouts, I'm mostly using one boat of heavy choppers and remaining rocket choppers and Kavan. I am leaving one boat for Seekers, and you'll see those come out to help and take out this lower right ER. After clearing the front ER, I flare to its left side, release my Seekers, do a Cryobomb, Critters, and a Shock to help and support them. While they're taking down that ER, and at 150 TD, that is generally enough, like one boat of Seekers. So you can try that out on your hits too. Then it's a case of doing a bit of free clearing, getting the 2 middle ERs before I can finally flare the final ER and use the remaining shocks and critters to take it down. This is also another similar layout, so I'll just speed it up a little bit. Principally following the same pattern, just clearing out the front defenses a little bit, saving up my Seeker for later, and this was good that it didn't have a shock launcher. It did have a critter launcher, which also can mess up the Seekers a little bit, so I'd shock that. I was a bit late to the shock and lost an RC up top, but I still had enough to take down the final ER quickly enough. Next one against Scar. He did not have motor, so a bit light, and I could have tried laser ranges, but I was just getting comfortable using rocket choppers, so I just went with that. Not to say that laser ranges aren't good, they're quite good, but it's just a personal preference for me to use rocket choppers because I'm just more comfortable playing with them. Once the bottom ER is down, that's when things can start. This one I tried to do slightly different. Took my rocket choppers in the middle so that they could target both ERs together rather than one at a time. And depending upon the layout, that can be advantageous. There were critters at the bottom one, so I wasn't too afraid of flaring too early. And then just get those middle ERs and over to the final ER and critters to help take it down slightly quicker. Slightly slower time on this. I messed up my head slightly, but the pattern kind of remains the same. This was probably a player who had used Seekers quite a lot because he did not have critter launchers, but I was slow against this player because I did lose rocket choppers. My Seekers also were lost over there because I did not pay attention to the shock launcher and the GBE. So it was a struggle completing the base, but I think that's one of the more important things, that even if you have a slow time, as long as you can clear the base, at least you have a chance rather than just fizzling. Next one was a Seeker player. I got a decent time on him, but obviously Seekers are much faster. I'll show my replay, slightly different layout, as well as having a damage amplifier in the middle. So this time I went from the right side, but following a similar sort of a pattern, trying to keep the rocket choppers together, getting them to work on the ERs under the sky shield before I make my move. And here I deployed a boat of Seekers for the left ER this time. I was not careful with this boom cannon and did get one of my rocket choppers, but it wasn't the end of the world. Still a decent time, but obviously the Seeker hit was much faster. I'll show you this. This player obviously has barrage, artillery, bullet, Seekers, etc. He was able to take down my ER just with heavy choppers and bullet, and then he used the Seekers. So although it wasn't a super fast time, but it's still faster than rocket choppers if you manage the hit well. I don't, maybe like adding boom mines could have slowed this player down a little bit, because obviously I don't really have boom mines going up over here to this particular top left ER. Plus adding some boom mines along the path too might have helped, but I'm not too sure whether it would have still slowed him down that much. Commander Rob, he probably had a disconnect, so it was an easy win for me against Kapan. Similar style layout, and I am just going to follow my standard attack pattern because I'm quite comfortable doing this now. There was a Doom Cannon over here, but just keep it shocked enough, and then that's fine. Use the Seekers as usual, although in this one I did lose out, because I did lose out the Seekers to this particular cannon and I wasn't paying attention. I thought I could critter it out, but that also happened quite late. It only happened as I was just flaring the final ER as well, but it's okay. Got the win down. Against Papalo. This is kind of the meta layout, which is why you see this in most of my hits, because most folks are running this. Once you get used to playing with it, then it's not too bad. Laser rangers can also get quite a good time on this sort of a layout, and I've seen people do like 215 remaining and things like that. But I just don't have any barrage, artillery, or other tools to make it very effective for my laser rangers. So that's why I'm still using the rocket choppers. And with 150 TD, they aren't too bad. This one had the sky shield on the left side, on the right side, sorry, so quite similar to my layout. I did do a few mistakes on this one, otherwise my time would have been slightly faster. I did a miss shock, which was supposed to be a flare to get my rocket choppers together, which would have resulted in a much better control and me not losing a rocket chopper as well. And then I did not really intend to flare on the squirrel launcher, but it was selected in my ability and I was just moving around on the screen. So I lost a bit of time while the rocket choppers flared up to that. But after that, it was kind of smooth sailing. I just ended up doing a bit of free clearing. The top rocket choppers going towards the top left side, while these two rocket choppers clearing up towards the middle ER. And once that middle ER is down, then I can quickly take out the other two remaining ERs on the left side as well. And finally, the more meta-based layout. This one I'll just speed it up because you guys know how to hit this one. The floaty is quite useful to have for against laser ranger opponents, but obviously against rocket choppers it doesn't help that much. So maybe some folks will switch back to damage amp if rocket choppers become more prevalent within this meta. Let's see how it goes. And with that, that's the log. So I can now start to open up the remaining deck. Obviously Doom Cannon would be quite useful to have. Having the extra gunboat ability, having barrage, bullet could be quite powerful if I decide to play Seekers. I don't have this protonaut either, as well as artillery and medkits, because they can also come in clutch. But I'm not too sure whether I'll push or not, because I have secured my gold start for next season, and my only other goal could be trying for top 5, and that's going to be a tough challenge because obviously they're player ahead of me in tech anyways, and they're ahead of me in rank too. But I haven't fully decided yet. I do have some time until I go 4 out of 4 chests. Now, since I can open up tech, if I do decide to play further, I will collect these chests and then see when I can actually do a push. But let's see how the next 24 hours goes and how the leaderboard moves. Hopefully that was useful for you folks. All the best for your push and have a great rest of Sunday.